Unfortunately, another death in the industry.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I love it.
We're back from the Arnold Classic, and I got the entire whack pack here, and we're going to talk about another death in the industry, unfortunately. Guys, what's up? It's good to see you. It was a great weekend in Columbus, Ohio. Again, it started out actually pretty warm on Thursday when I got there. When I left, it was about 18 degrees, and I'm very happy to say I'm back in 85-degree Florida. So
I just got in at 3 o'clock in the morning last night.
Oh, you did? Oh, you came in late, huh?
Wow. My flight, I couldn't get a flight out till 6 o'clock yesterday, and then delayed and everything.
Why was the flight delayed?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm in 5-degree New York.
I had to wait around all day yesterday to get the flight.
I don't want to jinx myself for next year, but I actually went to the airport and it was effortless. I had a direct flight. I got to tell you, there's a new airline, relatively new, called Breeze Air. And I thought it was going to be another Spirit, because it's one of these things where you can get a really cheap flight, but if you pay a few extra bucks, you get a nice seat. So the flight was it was a direct flight from Fort Myers to Columbus, which is almost unheard of.
Wow.
And it was like $130 round trip.
No.
I upgraded it to the more legroom seat, and you get to go on the plane early and something like that. It was like $280 or something like that. And it includes your luggage and carry on. Because, it's one of these things. If you go with the cheapy one, you can't bring anything. They charge you extra. So for $280, which is still really cheap, I got a direct flight from Fort Myers. And I got to tell you, the plane was clean, beautiful. Now, granted, if you wanted a diet soda, it was $4, but I bring my own food anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I had a lot of leg room, and they had Wi-Fi on the plane, free. So
free Wi-Fi, cool.
I would recommend Breeze if you can get it. They have some very unique flights. Matter of fact, they have a direct flight from Fort Myers to Vegas, but it's only on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
I'll tell you what, man. Direct flights are game changers.
Yeah.
When you eliminate that stop, it is a whole other world of travel, man.
I got my whole day back. It took 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was great.
I hate when you got to go like north to go south.
Yes. It drives me crazy to go out of the way, right?
It drives me fucking nuts. It's like sometimes I leave from here. It's either Atlanta, Charlotte, or DC. And if I got to go to DC to go to like Alabama, it's like what the. It's so frustrating. You're adding so much time to the trip.
I don't think that's him. I think it's another one of those fucking momos.
No, I think that's Lee, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's Lee.
Lee, you want to come on the show? I'm going to send him the link.
Where is he?
I don't think it's Lee.
No?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
This is kind of an odd time for Lee at night, wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
I don't think it's early in the morning for him, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m.
His schedule's been all over the place. He's been moving.
Fucking life.
Yeah.
It's one of those fucking little trolleys. Fucking pride of your family.
If it's not him, I'm banned.
Isn't it amazing that Lee has been a competitive bodybuilder for 30 years now, probably close to it, right? And he still has that same pack of momos following him around. tossing dirt at him. Like how much more can you do that? I mean, you got 3 decades of the same bullshit.
But he likes to argue with them too, though. He loves.
Hey, Dave, I need to ask you a question.
So funny.
Yeah,
he was moving over the weekend.
Larry,
when you go through the metal detector, the scanner thing at the airport, does it light up?
Yep.
I don't go through the metal detector. I go through the scanner.
You got
thing.
a pacemaker,
and
mine lights up.
The scanner, though, doesn't really catch anything. And I have metal. I have 2 shoulders. I have my ankle. It doesn't go off in the scanner thing.
Every time I go in
it detects the cables in my knees every single time.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Every time I go in there, that thing lights up like a Christmas tree.
Well, what do you got in you?
Nothing.
Yeah, you think maybe they put a tracker up your ass?
No, Davey's got a high iron content in his blood.
No, it's when your muscle density makes that thing go off.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is lit up. So yesterday I got this. I'm going through TSA, and this blonde TSA worker guy. He's like, "What do you got? What metal you got on you?" And this and that. I'm like, "Nothing. I'm in sweats and a t-shirt." And I'm look, just pat me down. And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do this and this, and I'm gonna have to go over your private parts and this and all that stuff."
Oh shit!
And he goes, "Do you want to go in a private room?" And I'm like, "No."
Well, you should have said, "Take me to dinner first."
You should have said, "Use your mouth."
Dude, you're getting ahead of yourself. Can I have a drink first?
Dude, I was with fucking Ben Weeder, and me and him went through the thing together, and they stopped him, and they were fucking. He was like almost 90.
Of all the people, they're gonna stop Ben Weeder.
That's what I'm saying. And then, I was talking to him afterwards. He was like, "I don't give a shit." But I mean, like, the guy was like 90 years old. He died like not too long after that. But they were going up through all over him and everything because something was beeping on him.
Because Ben Weeder was carrying an explosive device with him.
Yeah, but he was like dressed with a suit and stuff.
He actually had 20 gold bars in his.
He probably did.
Jacket pocket.
He was a great guy, man.
Johnny had Cougarans. Gold Cougarans.
He died with $1 billion in the bank.
I know.
Fucking billion.
He was a great guy. I love Ben Weeder. Talking to that guy about history and all that shit,
I wished he loved us a little more.
Yeah. He should have given back a little bit more of that $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember, didn't we get in trouble for talking about that on the radio?
Sure we're going to get in trouble for it again.
No one cares. No one cares anymore, though. Back then, the Weeder still owned the Olympia.
Yeah.
They lost their minds when we talked about that. We're like, the guy died with $1 billion in the bank. We're like, why couldn't he start like a fund for bodybuilders or a scholarship fund?
Exactly.
Or health
How about health insurance?
Who got the money? Who got the money?
His son. Yeah.
Eric.
I don't know if he had kids.
Eric Weeder. Yeah.
Eric Weeder. Yeah. Eric got it.
Who hates bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got nothing coming.
He was a good man. So was Joe. They were good guys, actually.
I love Joe.
They weren't bad guys.
Joe was awesome. Joe was
good.
Ruthless, cunning, smart. He was the way he handled Bleckman. It was so amusing to watch. He just dismissed him completely.
But you know what? Ben was I think was smarter.
Georgie, look what I got.
Hey,
Ben was.
What do you got, John?
What's going on?
Man, my postman, he loved this shit. Look at this.
Wow.
Oh, Christ.
Look at this. Georgie, you're missing the boat,
man.
What? You gotta make these for people.
Yeah, customized boxes. You can have them. You can have them pre-printed with all that stuff on there.
Look at this.
I love it.
I mean,
Romano is the GOAT on RX Muscle.
But anyway, wait. The box is only half the thing. The fucking cookie, Georgie. What did you put? Milky Ways, like slices in it? I bit into this thing and I'm like, what the fuck? This is amazing. Like, what did you do? How did you get the Milky Way in there?
Like a ravioli.
Did you slice it? Or is it mini ones or what?
No, I put the fun size inside.
Oh, yeah, but slices or pieces, right?
No, I didn't slice it. Just put
the whole thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I make like a ravioli. So then that's how it comes out like that.
Oh, so the Milky Way is the middle part of the whole cookie?
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
All right. That's a good idea. I didn't even think of doing that.
I could do it with any type of actual candy.
Lee, what are you doing up so early? That's what I want to know.
It's not late. The guy's already talking shit.
Oh, it is.
It's not late. He should be banned. You shouldn't allow any of these guys because it's one thing to troll, but when you
I would ban him if I know I don't want to ban Lee though.
You could start trouble with he could start trouble with people when he does shit like that.
All right,
That's a pussy. You can't.
So you got this, right?
Right.
Okay.
Open it up.
Now,
That doesn't mean shit.
It looks like just a regular cookie, right?
Yeah.
Except Georgie puts them in these, finger trap boxes that you can't open.
Yeah.
Unless you're 3 years old.
We can't see what you're doing.
That makes it even better. The sheer
I
excitement.
got it. All right. So now,
look at that.
somewhere like right about there, I'll break it open.
Oh shit.
See, you got this Milky Way in there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
White chocolate, and
it's probably 6,000 milligrams of.
I'm telling you, Georgie, out of the park. These are fucking delicious.
Wow, for John to say that.
That's a compliment, George.
Well, John is the official worldwide cookie guy.
John is the guy, bro. John is the man.
I'm the cookie guy.
Who better than to send a cookie to him?
Wow.
And there's protein in here?
Yeah, there's protein.
I gotta admit, man, my sugar just went up looking at that shit.
By the way, George, I was on the phone with your brother Robbie the other day because we do some clothing. I heard he's like a multi-millionaire now.
Wow.
He told me.
My brother always was.
Yeah. Millions he's got.
He was one before he actually had he already envisioned it in his mind.
Well, that's what you have to do. You have to do that.
Become something, you have to. You're already there. You're already it. You know? And he's at big time at the St. John's game. The St. John's is ranked number 8 now.
Well, he told me he's got all the clothing at St. John's, or 90% he said of the clothing at St. John's, Duke. He was telling me all these.
Yeah, but you know what it is? He's got the gift of gab. Bobby could sell shit to his shit salesman.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like he's fucking. I'm telling you,
but you know what? He knows how the whole system works. You got to go to the golf outings. You got to go to the all the parties.
You got to gain 80
Ben Weeder,
pounds.
I was with him when he.
You got to go you got to pay $50,000 sponsorship for the dinners and stuff like that.
But Georgie, what about his health, man?
He's dieting. He told me he started dieting.
He's getting better, but he's gonna come. He's gonna come here and get him in shape.
Yeah, I suppose he's going to stay with George, which is going to be a disaster, John. You know
when
that.
You mix those two together, forget about it.
Yeah.
George and Bobby, they're both.
We get a little. No, we don't fight anymore.
No, I meant entertainers.
You better be nice to him because you're going to outlive him, and you better hope he leaves you some of that money that he made.
Let me tell you something about.
He just said he's going to send me wait. Here's the biggest thing. He just called me and says, you got me some orders. I'm going to send you a commission.
Oh wow, that's very nice of him.
That's good.
That's cool.
But then he said, I'm going to send you some clothes. So,
you know what Georgie and his brother bring to the table that is so intoxicating? It's the level of energy that these guys have. He's just sitting there on level 10. All right. When you could bring that to the gym and train on that kind of, level of intensity that they just produce. How do you get that kind of energy? If you could control that or package
it's uncontrollable, John. It's
but you know what's funny? If you brought
the entropy of the universe,
John, if you brought Bobby to the gym, he would start a conversation with somebody and come back and be like, "I just sold a whole line of T-shirts."
Yep.
Right? Bobby, forget about it. He'd sell a line. He'd have the hottest girl in the fucking gym. He'd have her talking his ear off and shit. And you don't underestimate Bobby. And him a great mixture.
Do you guys remember the stage setup that we had at the Arnold?
Oh yeah.
And Georgie and Bobby were like emceeing it. They went on level 11 out of 10
for 3 days straight.
8 hours, 3 days, exactly for 8 hours a day for 3 days, nonstop. It was unbelievable. They didn't break. They didn't even take a breath.
No, but you forget the best part is after the fucking shit. I'm with Bobby and everything, and he's running up to Joe Weider, telling Ben Weider, telling Ben how he fucking, my father this, my father that. We grew up together.
With no shoes.
Give a whole bullshit.
Greg,
Yeah. He said his father was he had this whole story about his father and him going to the city.
Dude, I was with him. I took a picture of his feet. I put it in the magazine.
He had no shoes on with no toenails.
That's how great of a salesman he is. He had no shoes.
Barefooted with green toenails.
Yep. I took a picture. I put it in MD Magazine. I couldn't believe it. Because he's down in the lobby walking around. I was talking with Brian Siders, and he's sitting there, and he's sitting right next to me. He puts his feet up on the fucking thing, and Brian Siders looks at him, and he's got this big fucking feet and no shoes on, and toes are all
yellow
dirty.
Toenails, and he's picking the toenail with a fork.
Oh, Maron.
And they were green.
This is probably about the 450th time I've heard the story, but it's still just as funny. And it's still just as funny.
And it picks up more momentum every time you hear it.
Okay, wait. I gotta go back to the cookie. See, this is what happens when you got that Milky Way in there. It forces you to break all around it until now. This is the premium piece right here. This is the best.
Oh, you saved it for the end. You saved it for the end.
Yeah, you saved it because now look, you got right in the middle of that. You got like the whole.
You got to take like 10 units of insulin to absorb that.
You ain't kidding.
Dave, energy in that cookie
right there. The primo piece. I'm telling you, Georgie, if you don't make $1 million on these things, you should fucking kick yourself.
Yeah,
we are. Our cookie is in between a protein cookie and a full bone.
Why don't you I figured something out. Why don't you? The genius behind Robbie Smalls is his wife, John. His wife runs the business. Bobby's just the sales guy. So if it wasn't for Cheryl, he would never sell it. He would never be as wealthy as he is. So maybe George should get Cheryl to run the cookie business for him.
I'm telling you, this you couldn't get this in the store.
No, we're going to start going to shows, Dave. I'm going to have booths at the Olympia.
The long laid plans of bison, man. We've been hearing this for 3 years already.
No,
you know what? I'm one of the only people in America that's only going to get to eat that cookie.
You know what? Why don't you do this? Let's start. Rather than going to all these shows, why don't you bring all your cookies to Alabama?
I am. Alabama. That's the first show.
I don't just sit in a booth and sell cookies the whole time. We don't need. You could hang out with us after the show. You'll sell at least 500 cookies there.
Georgie, don't go to shows. Spend your money on a point of purchase display that holds like 20 cookies. All right. Then go everywhere. Go to the coffee shops, go to the restaurants, go to the gas stations, go to the convenience stores, and ask to put your point of purchase cookies there. You split the money with them, and you don't have to you don't have to travel anywhere.
Well, and sell it online though.
Of course.
Like Insomnia, like you heard it, Insomnia, right?
Like you started it originally, and then you stopped. Yeah. So.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I perfected the recipes, so now
no, because I know what happened was you got involved with the whole MMA thing that distracted you, and then you lost focus.
No, it was surfing first, and then it was.
He was surfing the whole time. It was the MMA. He didn't even come on the show for fucking a year.
I know. Oh, Georgie, that cookie! I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You put that out.
College over here, I got FAU, so I'm going to start.
Somebody eats one of those, they're coming to
Alabama.
Dude, that's John Romano approved. If that's John Romano, John's the man when it comes to that shit. So fucking that must be badass.
I'm telling you, man, Georgie, do not miss the boat on that. I'm telling you,
there's a company
that is a winner.
So the code is Made in USA. Made in USA. Anybody orders 20% off.
Wait, Larry wanted to say something. What were we
There's
saying,
a company that was at the Arnold. They're making that cookie.
Oh shit! That same one.
They're making it with oatmeal and whey isolate, and they're doing the same thing with like the filling in the middle. It's like they call it a pie.
Really? See, another one of George's ideas down the toilet, John.
Down the toilet.
I bought a whole box of them, and they were super good, and they had very little sugar in it, like 4 grams of sugar. They taste amazing.
What the hell did they put in the middle if it's only got 4 grams of sugar?
I don't know, but they taste unbelievable.
How about
I ate
Greg?
a whole box, and I ate the whole box.
Greg, you should take a shit. We could fill all the cookies with your shit in the middle. You know, very low calories,
That's a nice
no
appetizing
sugar.
thing to try.
Greg doesn't eat sugar, John, because he's a diabetic. I don't know.
Oh, that's why. So his shit's sweet.
You should come out with a gallbladder cookie.
That's going to be a low sugar cookie. That's different from what I'm doing. From that,
you know, I had this idea at one point. Maybe Mr. G could do this. I don't even know if it would sell. I thought that if people made cookies that looked like the different organs in your body, like a brain, like your intestines, your like pancreas, your liver, like it would be like an educational type thing, but it would be cool because they would look different. You can have them the same color of whatever the organs are, and if you put all the cookies together, it would look like like one of those anatomy charts almost. You know what I mean?
So you can say you're a cannibal.
And then put it all inside of a Kinder Egg.
How about this? A hairy box, you know what I mean? A vagina cookie.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
An anal cookie, an ass cookie.
You would love that.
I love ass, bro.
You know why you got to act on this? I'll tell you a little story. You ever been to a hotel that's got a shower with a curtain and then the rod is bowed out?
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I was the first person in the world to ever do that. And a friend of mine saw it. And he goes, dude, this is a great idea. You ought to put it. He started marketing this. It's a fucking shower rod. No one's going to buy that. Next thing you know, every single hotel I ever go to that had a shower and it has a bowed rod in it.
Yeah.
You know, do you even understand how much money I didn't make?
Patent must have been worth a fortune on that.
Insane. Over a bent piece of pipe. So, Georgie, you got a winner here with this fucking cookie. And if you don't capitalize on it.
Well, you know how many great ideas were lost by our panel? Jimmy invented the condom extender. You remember?
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Or the back shaver.
The back shaver. Yep.
And he blew that one. And now they're all on the market.
The one-handed ponytail maker.
Look, guys, I'm making the cookies. Here they are, right here. So I'm making them, and we're gonna.
I'm really sad that I have one cookie left, and that's probably the last one I'm ever going to eat. Because he's not going to make them.
No, John. What did I say to you? What did I text you?
You're not going to make them. I'm going to be the last person in the country
John,
to have one.
Every week I'm sending you a new cookie.
Up and eat it again.
Every week, John gets a new cookie to critique.
All right.
You know, like those food shows when people travel.
George, you don't get ahead of yourself. Make that cookie one. Don't do flavors.
You can't focus
that
on
cookie and get a point of purchase and get it in the gas station. You're going to sell billions of them. I'm telling you, they're fucking amazing.
We're going to notice John getting fatter every week.
Yes. Like that beefcake ad on South Park, right?
John's going to get fatter every week.
All right. I want to get to our topic of the day, which is over the past weekend, a girl died at the Arnold Classic. Now, she wasn't competing, but she was a competitor. She just wasn't competing at this weekend. Let me pull up this thing here.
Wait,
why was she dehydrated if she wasn't competing?
Yeah, right.
All right, they said it was from dehydration, but we have some better insights here. It's actually on TMZ. TMZ picked up the story. Armand, you know her, right? Or something like that? Is she from your area?
Yeah, she's from here.
Oh, I just trained at that gym.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, everybody at the Arnold was training at that gym.
Pretty nice.
Now, I can't imagine. First of all, she doesn't look like she's in contest shape, and she shouldn't because she wasn't competing. So I don't know what right off the bat, you'd be like, well, why would this girl be super dehydrated?
Come on, Dave.
Yeah, man, really.
Everybody trains for the Arnold.
I know, but she doesn't. Hold on. She doesn't look overly dehydrated here. She's not sucked out of face. So I have to believe it wasn't from taking diuretics that she died.
What do you think it was?
Well, I'm going to let Armand give us a little insight.
All right. So she did the Texas Pro here, the amateur division back in Dallas. I believe she was in the hospital a couple weeks ago. And so her coach, so I heard about the death initially, and I knew of her because I saw her backstage. I was at the Texas Pro. So I didn't know who her coach was. So under the thing, I was like, I made a comment. I was like, hey, I was like, who's her coach? Like, I thought she was competing. why is a young girl, taking diuretics and, dying and all that? And some message underneath, they're like, she wasn't competing at the show, know your facts and all this. And then there was a fake comment on there from a profile that was just made. Obviously, it was her coach. And I was like, Armand, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a shitty, talking shit about me. So, I took my comment down and I got some facts. And so basically, she was using, this is what I've been told. She was using DNP and diuretics, trying to get in shape or look good or whatever. But her coach someone sent me these messages on Instagram, and I sent them to Dave. Dave, I think you listened to him. So
yeah.
This guy has a podcast. So it goes like 101, 102, 103, and then there's a podcast missing. He deleted it after she died. In that podcast, he was talking about how much he loved DNP. He goes, I love this drug. And so that was deleted right after she died, but someone recorded it and they sent it to me, and I sent it to Dave. So he was also prepping her mom for shows too, this coach, and he's one of those coaches that have coaches working underneath him. And so, like, let's say I have a bunch of people working underneath me as coaches, and I'm getting, like, let's say they charge someone $1,000 for prep, and I'm getting 500 of that. And she had clients at the Arnold, Dave. So this young girl that's like, I don't know, in her early 20s, she's prepping clients, and probably
she was working under that coach.
Everybody's a coach.
Well, then listen, this is what the coach said on the TMZ. It says Vance's coach. First of all, the girl's name is Jodi Vance, and she was only 20 years old.
20? I thought she was 25. It
says 20.
Holy Christ, that's
and. The coach, Jodi Vance's coach, Justin Mahaly, said his pupil didn't have a bodybuilding show scheduled for months, so she shouldn't have been taking any potentially dangerous substances, which she shouldn't have been taking anyway, right? Though he seemingly suspects she was. Quote, Jodi used 2 extremely hazardous substances to improve her physique. I assume just for the Arnold, without my knowledge, my approval, without my family's knowledge, their approval, Mahaly said on a video on Instagram. Now, why would he say that? Why would he say? He didn't say 1. He said 2. So
how would he even know?
How would he even know
she was
that?
taking if he didn't
Unless
know what
she
she was
told him
taking?
he was.
Well, here's the deal. Like
he said, without my knowledge, that's ridiculous.
Right.
He obviously knew, because he's saying right here, he's saying definitively Jodi used 2 extremely hazardous substances. I'm assuming one of them was DNP.
Yeah.
And without his knowledge, he wouldn't know about it because she's dead to tell.
Right, exactly.
Who introduced her to these drugs though? Probably him. He loves DNP and the diuretic. So
what is that? What is that drug, Armand? What is
it's horrible.
No one should ever use DNP.
The reason why. Hold on, DNP.
Dinitrophenol. The reason why no one should use it is because the effective fat burning dosage is very, very, very close to the lethal dosage. So if you go a little over the line, it's like with GHB. You pass out. You do too much DNP, you die. So not a good idea.
What the hell?
George, it's been in the industry forever. It overheats your body, so you like burn fat.
It's an uncoupling agent.
Somebody gave it to me. I threw it out.
Releases energy as heat.
Right. Just waste calories as heat. Yeah.
Google it if you want to understand the whole mechanism of this. Because
people say it's safe. It is not safe because it is like I said, the lethal dose and the effective dose are too close to each other.
I've done it a couple of times, and I'm telling you, it sucks your energy. You can't train it. It's the worst feeling. I remember when Duchesne and I when Duchesne first invented it or found it.
This is the greatest comment of the whole day.
It's like Consuela on Family Guy with the phone number.
DNP, because I thought they were saying DMP. DNP.
He thought he meant the military police. The DMP's coming.
Let anybody come on here on the show and have 8 guys or 6 guys and try and talk, see how they can do, and hear at the same time.
And only have 3 teeth in your mouth. That makes it a lot harder.
So the question is, who in the first place? Who introduced her to the drug? Right. Who told her how to take it, and who got it for her? And I understand these young girls, they're extreme. That's why I don't work with a lot of younger, especially girls, because they'll take things to extreme, body dysmorphia. We've all had it. I mean, we're in bodybuilding, we're all crazy. But they get all these drugs, they don't understand what they do. It's not like Clen where you can take more and more and more. DNP, you just die, you overheat and die. So, who was giving it to her? Where'd she get it? And I don't know. I don't know this coach. I don't know this guy at all. I just knew of him. And then I talked to Blue Taylor the other day because he called me, and he used to coach that guy. And he's a whatever. I'm not going to say what he said about him, but he didn't have anything nice to say about him.
Blue
So I don't know.
Blue Tail has very little nice things to say about anyone, but yeah.
I don't know the guy. I don't know the coach at all. But basically, I don't know who gave her this stuff and took it. But it's sad,
It's sad because she's 20 years old and she didn't know any better. And you know what? I guess she doesn't listen to this podcast because we've said it a million times. Does it burn fat? Yeah. Is it too dangerous to use? Yes. We're hardly a conservative panel here. Okay. If I thought there was something that can be used to burn fat, I would recommend it. It's very dangerous. You should never use DNP. People ask me for my protocol all the time. I'm like, I don't have a protocol because I don't recommend anyone uses it ever. Never in my entire life.
If you're behind on a show, just pick a later show. I remember Chris Gelala used to take it, and so he would have to put plastic down because he would wake up in a puddle, literally a puddle of his own sweat.
Listen, if you take Ozempic, you just can't take a shit. At least you don't die, So I'd rather see you do a GLP-1 agonist if you have a problem.
Wait, Ozempic makes you not shit?
Yeah.
Well, it slows your digestive tract. You got to be on fiber.
Well, see, I got to get some Ozempic.
So here, there's a bigger picture to this, and it's this idea. Everybody in the industry that goes to the Olympia or to Arnold preps for the expo, like bodybuilders prep for the show. I mean, so you're going to walk around in a t-shirt with your veins sticking out. I mean, is it really worth, pushing the limit?
John,
I know people who literally go on a course, diuretics, juice, everything prior to going to the show. To go to the expo.
How about try to diet, John, for the
dude?
Show?
You know who used to talk about that?
How about that? How about you go to the Arnold? You want to look good
instead of trying to lose your body fat in 2 weeks before. How about you diet for 6
Rich
weeks?
Piana used to do that, Dave. He used to do that. He used to talk about it. He would say do the insulin and everything because he would go. He wanted to look jacked. Sometimes he'd be like 30 pounds heavier and shit, and then he'd lose the weight by sweating it all off.
Yeah, Piana did it.
Prep coach
he would insulin load for the Olympia. Piana did it all the time. He would insulin load and eat a bunch for the Olympia to look big and all that.
Well, you can. That's a different story than trying to lose in 1 week. 20 pounds of weight. That's very dangerous.
Is there a medical use for that? Is there any
No.
They use DNP to make TNT, which is dynamite.
Right.
She's 20 years old, so I mean, she's young. I mean,
it's a derivative of dynamite, John.
Think of all our minds.
It's one molecule off.
Excuse me.
Yeah, but think about this. A lot of these competitors, and even the females, especially the females, they have eating disorders.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bulimic and they're what is the other word?
Anorexic.
Anorexic.
They do all kind of weird shit just to look a certain way.
Plus, they naturally girls have more
whether they're competing or not.
Anyway.
That isn't how they actually look. That's the problem. They look.
No, I know, but I'm saying to try to look a certain way.
Right.
We've seen more girls die suddenly than I mean, there are guys that have had heart attacks and obviously other stuff, but the girls we've seen probably at least 10 in the last couple of years that have just dropped from diuretics, doing crazy shit like this. And this should not be the case. So these girls are feeling a lot of pressure to look a certain way. And you know what? If you want to look good for an expo, diet for it. I have people contact me all the time. They're like, you know what? I got a vacation coming up. Can you diet me for the next 10 weeks or 8 weeks? I'm like, yeah, sure. And they do it the right way. They go to on vacation. They look great. If someone comes to me a week out and says, I want to lose 25 pounds for the Arnold Expo next week, I'm going to be like, sorry, train for the one next year because you're not going to lose 25 pounds in a week.
Yeah, but Dave, then they'll go to the guy down the street and he goes, okay,
but you know what happens?
Lose the 25 pounds.
When people do extreme things like that, they go to the expo and they feel like shit the entire weekend because it's like it ruins the whole experience for them because they feel so terrible.
Yep.
The thing with
extreme things like that, it's nuts. You know,
the thing with DNP also, it makes you hold water retention. While you're on DNP, you hold water, but you burn fat. So she was probably taking DNP and holding water.
and that's why she did diuretics, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably taking the diuretics to get rid of the water. And then but she was in the hospital. She posted on her Instagram like a couple weeks prior. She was hospitalized prior.
Really?
Yeah. So
Dave,
she went to the hospital, John, and they couldn't revive her. So I have to imagine that she cooked her organs or something like that, with the DNP.
Or maybe she just stopped her heart.
This industry as a whole, the participants make such light of the drugs that we use or that we're availed to that they completely lose track of the seriousness that some of them represent. DNP is fucking poison. It's literally a poison. Okay, you want to manage it correctly.
Don't take it. Yeah,
I mean, don't take it. That's the way you manage it correctly.
And like I said, we're hardly conservative. We talk about other drugs. We're not saying don't take drugs. We're saying certain drugs.
I've done it. I can tell you from personal firsthand experience. Don't do it.
You can take all the steroids in the world, but if you mess with DNP and diuretics, that's playing with fire.
Dude, somebody big in this industry gave me some of that shit. I actually threw it out. I wouldn't even try that. You know what I mean?
It will eat through stuff. If you have it in a plastic bag, let's say you leave it on a drawer, it will eat through that plastic bag and eat through the drawer like the
holy
wooden
fuck.
drawer.
Well, the best story is that
John I can buy them online. DNP capsules.
Yeah, you can get them all over the place.
Capsules. 375 milligram capsules. We specialize in providing high quality chemicals.
Because it's not illegal. It's a
George, you should make a DNP cookie. You buy it into it.
You can buy it for non-human use. That's why
Tony Hughes used to sell them on his website.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, he did sell them. You're right.
Greg, don't think that's not going through his head right now.
No,
take it in with that Snicker bar.
Don't think he's not thinking about it.
DNP
a little bit.
I want to make
DNP to the bodybuilding world. DNP to the bodybuilding world is like fentanyl to the drug user world. It's just as dangerous. And
improves mitochondrial respiration.
Yeah, but it kills you.
What about cardio? How about intense short burst cardio?
Dude, everybody in this industry, they want that shortcut.
Yeah, you guys remember Matt Porter, right?
For people that don't understand, the problem with DNP is once the mechanism starts working to the point where it's
can't stop it.
You're heating your body up beyond what it should be or what it can handle. You can go to the hospital or anything. They can't stop the process. Like
you got an ice bath. That's the only thing that might help.
They'll give you ice baths and they'll do enema.
If you take too much of it, it's going to kill you anyways.
They'll do enema ice. They'll do enema.
Oh, I like the enema.
You lit Greg up with that one.
I like the enema.
Greg's like ice cubes up my ass. Oh my god!
No. He's gonna start putting his enema in the refrigerator now.
I like the enema part. That's pretty hot.
And the other thing is
cold enemas in you.
Ice cold in the summertime. That must be nice.
No, my doctor said hot and high.
The other thing is, I believe it's micrograms, isn't it? It's dosed in micrograms, right?
I thought milligrams. I think milligrams.
No,
milligrams.
Grams.
Well, even still, even the littlest small amount over, and you're screwed.
Look, I've told this story
most people
before.
take 200 milligrams a day, and I've seen people take 200 milligrams a day, but you don't know what source you're getting from. Some is crystallized, some is powder, some is strong.
Everyone metabolizes things differently too, so you don't know how you're going to respond.
Yeah, but you know what it is, Dave? We're in an industry where everybody wants.
Matt Porter.
How many guys start taking steroids from the moment they walk in the gym? Some young guys.
Yeah, but steroids are not going to kill you.
But I'm saying,
classic,
can't you train that
the mindset going.
Structure. No, but I'm saying,
going back to Matt Porter.
Shortcut.
Going back to Matt Porter. Matt Porter had all his athletes take DNP because I remember a lot of his athletes. He was prepping a destination at that time. They were all on DNP.
Wow,
so
that's insane.
That's bad.
They were on like 600 milligrams.
I went up to 600.
You know what? If you can't get someone in shape, okay, the conventional way, which is diet, cardio, some clenbuterol and T3. If you got to use DNP at that dosage, then you're a shitty coach. As far
It
as
says it leads to uncontrolled.
you're a shitty coach because you shouldn't have to use that on people. I'm sorry.
You're 100% right, Dave.
It says uncontrolled hypothermia. That's what's happened. So you go into hypothermia.
George, we know all about this shit.
You're not educating us.
George, we've known about this for 20 years.
You're educating yourself, George, is what you're doing. Yeah.
Dave, Peter Neff used to get me in shape when I was a natural bodybuilder. And you know Peter Neff because he
did the same for me. Yeah, he helped me.
Natural bodybuilder, I got in shape, nothing. No fucking nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even need anything.
That's probably the best way, Greg.
No one wants to suffer anymore. They want to take a pill. They want to take a pill.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Kai's first coach, Oscar Arden, was real big on it too.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Oscar, really?
Oscar was big on DNP. Yeah. I know Oscar really well. I didn't know that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, he was.
I never heard about it back then.
When Duchesne got the first batch of it, we were putting it in. I
love this story. I know
I've said this before.
I love it.
We have a big sheet of newspaper out, and it's piled in the middle. This yellow powder, and we're scooping we weighed it to know how much it was in each one held. So we're scooping them up in these 00 capsules and putting them together. And about an hour into it, I'm like sweating, sitting there in his kitchen, and he is too. And I'm like, "Do you have the air conditioner on? It's fucking hot in here." It was coming in through our fingers.
Shit!
The powder was being absorbed through our fingers, through the skin, and it was raising our temperature right there at the table.
So, maybe you were breathing it in too, John. The powder,
could have been. But I thought it was because it was on our fingers.
I'll tell you, another story. You remember when GHB was legal?
Yep.
And
I do.
It would come in these like big containers of they were syrupy, and you had to dilute it down. And I think we were at the Arnold Classic one year. It was 100%. Someone had given me one of these things, and we were like mixing it and putting water in to dilute it down because otherwise you'll die otherwise. Right. And I don't know. Sometimes it's got like a sweet taste, like a weird taste. I was like licking my fingers, and I didn't realize it. And I must have, because the concentrate is so concentrated, I must have ingested way more than I thought, and I fucking fell asleep.
Wow, you fell.
Wait, Dave,
there's two different kinds. One tastes like extremely salty, and the other one smells and tastes like gas.
They used to sell GHB when it first came
in this health food store. I know.
GNC.
That's when this was going on.
But wait, it came in a little bottle with powder. It was a powder.
Yeah, it was powder. That's why they called it scoops. Yeah, scoops.
It was like powder. A little tiny Coke spoon.
Yep.
That's why they called it scooping. They said you're scooping.
They made that illegal, and then they started selling GBL,
the precursor. Yeah.
Rejuve.
Renutrient
and Rejuve.
Right? And then it was Blue Nitro.
Blue Nitro.
They had a million names for it. Yeah, they had a million.
I would never go near that shit, bro. Holy fuck! I like flying. I would never want to be like Chicago.
Actually, I like the way GHB feels.
GHB.
I'm a veteran.
First of all, when I first started using it, was for sleep. It would help you sleep at night. It was great. You got the greatest night's sleep on it. But then people started to realize that if you didn't use it before bed, you actually got high from it, like a little high.
Dave.
Sex on GHB.
It was like a porn star. You would think you were a porn star on that stuff.
Wait, sex Dave, on GHB is like nothing else, man.
It would make a girl like a 3. It would make a girl like a 3, a 10. So you would be on GHB. You would hook up with someone.
One at a time, guys.
You would hook up with some girl, and I remember, because I had a script for GHB. It was called Xyrem. This doctor used to write it out. They would send you in a bottle, come with like a syringe and all that.
It's controlled one substance, that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So you knew exactly what you were taking. They would ship like 4 bottles a month to my doorstep. It was
what was the medical need for that? How did you get that?
For narcolepsy, but my podiatrist was writing it for me. So eventually they called me. They're like, why is your podiatrist writing GHB? I was like, I have no idea. I was like, and so
Dave.
Yeah. But without insurance, it was $5,000 a bottle. With insurance, it was $400 a bottle.
Dave, Sharon Marvel was taking that shit, I remember. And her boyfriend was telling us that she drank orange juice. And I don't know what the fuck there's some sort of
diluted.
Is that what? All I know is he said after she fucking woke up, she was like fucking projectile vomiting and like talking in like.
The great thing about the GHB though is once you passed out and woke up again, you were fine. It was like you actually felt good.
Yeah, but she didn't remember it.
No
she didn't
hangover.
remember. She didn't remember that she got knocked out like that. She
didn't remember that 8 guys pulled the train on her.
It was Barfarama.
That's why they made it illegal, John.
Right.
That's why they made it illegal because people were putting in girls' drinks and stuff.
She was such a nice girl. I don't know what the hell ever happened to her. You remember her, right?
It's so weird how like the people that are like evil people, I call them, come up with, they take a thing that was like a bodybuilding drug and they turned it into like this like date rape drug.
Yeah.
Who would even who would in their right mind even think to do that? I mean, aside from Bill Cosby, of course.
That's the creepiest thing to date rape a girl with drugs. That is freaking
really
weird.
Creepy.
But to have sex with a girl that is unconscious and she doesn't even want to have sex with you.
I know.
I don't understand that mindset. It's absolutely disgusting. And I've caught guys in the act of that.
Really?
Yeah, and I've stopped them. And
I'd kick their asses. That's just
back in the 80s. They used to have the Roofadolls from Tijuana.
Yep.
And they used to that was a date rape drug.
Yeah.
Because you can't remember anything that happened on it.
Yeah, but if you got to get a chick to God so you could fucking get your way with her, you got no game, bro. That's fucking hard.
Right, but you see guys like the P Diddy and all this other stuff with doing shit like that too, and you're like, these guys can get any chick they want. They got money and stuff like that, and power, and yet they still do that. It's because they're just evil people. That's why.
But I think, Dave, they were not just doing normal sex. They were doing like really insane, weird shit.
The freak offs. Yeah, I mean, Chappelle. Dave Chappelle talks about. They asked Dave Chappelle, "Did you ever go to any of the freak offs?" He's like, "Nah, I never went to the freak offs." He goes, "I went to the parties, but," he goes, "I didn't get invited to the freak offs after the parties." He goes, and then I realized, he said, I'm an ugly dude. they didn't want me there.
But Pete Diddy's no Johnny Handsome either. You know what I'm talking about.
What's going on with all of that? Is there an update?
No,
every day there's something new. Yeah,
really,
every day.
Yesterday, it's coming.
So where's Epstein's list?
Pam Bondi talked about it last night. She said that the FBI redacted and took so much shit out of there. They found out all the shit was in the New York FBI.
Here's what I think.
To DC.
Did you listen to Elon Musk's interview on Rogan?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Musk said that there is a threshold up to which he cannot uncover.
I saw that. Yeah.
He'll get assassinated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, why wouldn't the same axiom apply to Pam Bondi? Is there a threshold up to which she can expose, and if she exposes beyond that, everybody thinks the president's the top rung in the ladder. It's not. There's many rungs above the president that controls this shit with power and money. If Elon Musk is afraid of getting assassinated for uncovering
John,
a certain person,
he wasn't talking about
that also goes towards Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, anybody else in the government that's going to upset that apple cart.
He wasn't talking about Epstein. He was talking about the shit he's uncovered. The fucking government people was taking, not just the Epstein.
The money they were taking. The money.
Where Scott is going.
Whatever level of what's with Dick Durbin? Why is Dick Durbin exercising his political clout to keep that list private?
Because they're all compromised.
Because he's in on it. They're all
in it.
Because they found out that some of these people, like Maxine Waters, for instance, she's got her daughter and people like that. They're all like get these cush jobs.
Yep.
They're finding out they never even showed up for work. They don't even know anything about the job, but they're getting paid big Scott all for that. He's uncovered tons of shit. But you got to
hold on. How come we can't funnel some of this money into the bodybuilding prize money?
My God.
They're giving like billions of dollars to Ukraine, and they don't know where the money went. Can't they just transfer a little bit over to us?
We need to start an NGO. We need to start an NGO and a nonprofit, and we're going to say that we're going to bring bodybuilding to the disenfranchised.
No, I got
gender people of Ethiopia.
We're going to do
DEI, and we're going to promise to improve the lives of misgendered Ethiopians by giving us a grant of $40 billion so that we can put on bodybuilding.
Ron. That's all we need, man.
For
Stop
transgendered bodybuilders in Latin countries.
Right, we're gonna
wait.
not be picnic.
No,
Yeah,
you know
we'll
what
make
you do?
millions.
You know where the money goes? You know where all that money goes?
Administrative
Climate control.
fees.
It's climate control. So you stop bodybuilders from farting and eating all this protein and supplements. No more bodybuilding farts. Therefore the ozone won't be so bad because climate control is the number one. Climate control over DEI. Climate control is the number one bullshit thing that
It's a total
they all
scam.
started this little bullshit, fake little like money grab things. Oh, we're working on green new gases over there in fucking Greenland and shit. That's why. And it's always overseas, so you can't really trace it. You don't know what's really.
I just want $1 million for first place at the Olympia. Can't we get that somehow?
Dave, I love you, but
We
you
got
gotta
start an
just put
NGO.
it
I'm
out
telling
for
you,
a
that's how you
grant.
do it.
Put in for a grant, Dave. You got to put in for a grant.
Right.
I'm not putting in
Abrams-
crazy.
Stacey
I won't see a
Abrams,
penny of that money.
$1
Do
Stacey
you really
Abrams.
give a fuck with some bodybuilders? I don't give two shits about some guy winning a show. Dude, they killed this sport. Get your pro cards here.
Who's
you
that?
won the-
Who's that
you won
fat
the
black
Arnold
woman with the
novice fucking-
space?
No, look, you were not at the show this past weekend, Greg. The show this past weekend was excellent. It was great. Anyone who was there will tell you how exciting it was because the top guys were in the best shape of their life. You had the top Olympia lineup there because Arnold gave away $500,000 for first place. Derek Lunsford won $500,000. When in the history of our sport can we say that happened? Aside from Samson winning 600 at the Olympia, that's awesome. Never in the history of bodybuilding did we ever think the bodybuilders would be making that kind of prize money, and it's going up from here. That's the
Meanwhile, the guy who plays baseball, the bench player, as long as you make
it doesn't matter though.
make
Listen,
$675,000.
yeah, but baseball's a very specialized sport with only a few people can do that.
Yeah,
at
but
a
And
very high
bodybuilding
level.
isn't.
No, it is. But what I'm saying is that
You got to kill
think
yourself more
about,
for
hold on,
bodybuilding.
think about the genetic potential of some of these football, baseball players, basketball players out there that you see. If they ever went into bodybuilding, they would be unbelievable. We probably have a very small fraction of the genetic pool.
Okay, I'll agree with
it could
that.
be in bodybuilding. Now,
Yep.
if let's say the shows start giving away $1 million to top shows for first place. Now a football player might say, I don't have to get my head bashed in on a football field. My longevity in the sport's going to be longer, and I can make $1 million a year. That's not so bad. I don't have to go to all these things.
No, instead he's got to take every drug.
Whoa. The problem,
He's got to take every drug under the sun for every
guys, people have no
the
problem.
problem with that, is only one guy gets the $1 million.
right.
So you can't say, as a career choice, I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to
Yeah,
win.
but
the
God,
Olympics.
if you all of a sudden get 6 Ronnie Colemans competing at the same time at the Olympia because you get all the genetic pool in there, now the money's going to go up even higher.
Yeah,
because
but
there's
only
gonna be
one
more
of them is
people
going to
interested.
get it.
No, but I'm saying you're going to have more people. Look, in the Middle East, bodybuilding is the number 2 sport behind soccer. We know that. That's where the money's going to come from.
Well,
Didn't they
what they have to do
That's
is
where the money's going to come from in the future. And you know what? I can see shows there giving away, during the middle of the season shows $1 million for first place, $500,000 second place, $250 third place. Now you're talking money that these guys are making.
Didn't they used to spread it out a little bit about the
The
gonna
sport's
happen.
way worse. The
It's going to
sport's
happen.
way worse than it
I'm telling
used
you,
to
it's
be.
going to happen. You'll see.
I think it's way worse. It's not even.
You'll say Dave was right.
Bodies are ugly. They fucking forget about it.
Well,
There's some good physiques. There's good physique still.
They're very rare few.
I don't know
Those
what you're
kids
talking
are
about, Greg.
Well,
Derek
you're from an
Those-
era. You're from the classic era. You should like classic physique.
I do like classic physique. I do.
That's why they created it for people like you who don't
I
like
do
it.
like that. It's more old
Logan
school.
Franklin. I thought Logan Franklin looked amazing. Like he has a crazy.
Hey,
physique.
Matt Grego is great. Mike Sommerfeld was great. I mean, that should be you should be promoting that division, Greg. Because
I mean, Brandon looked amazing in bodybuilding. Brandon looked awesome. They all looked awesome. I don't know what you're talking about, Greg. The top 5. Looked
he
amazing.
didn't watch the show. That's why he doesn't know that. Armand.
Damn right, I didn't watch that.
I thought it was funny
By the
how
way, the podcast was free. The broadcast.
I can't watch it anymore. I just can't. It's just not
Why?
the same. It's just not the same. I don't
Well,
have
you
that.
know you're
I'm
just
not
not
the only one.
interested.
I
lost interest.
I
That's
talk
all.
about a lot of old school pro bodybuilders think that the sport's fucking going the wrong way.
It's not the same.
But if you don't watch it, how do you know it? You don't like it. If you don't
It's
watch
changing.
I've
Jack.
seen. I can't help but see clips here and there. People send me shit. I saw that guy.
You should
I
watch
saw you-
Classic Physique. I think you would like it. I think
You
you're
go
really
watch
right.
those guys up close in person. They're freaking amazing. I saw Andrew Jack backstage at the Texas Pro. It's incredible. I mean, they have great physiques. I thought it was funny how Patrick Moore threw Cito under the bus after Cito backed
Yeah,
him up
did you
so
show
much.
that thing?
Yeah.
Armin, show that
Yeah.
thing. Show him what he did. That clip that you sent me, show it to him.
Dave knows. I sent it to Dave. Patrick Moore said, basically, after Chris, attacked me so much for no reason, because me and Chris were fine before that. He backed Patrick up more so much after the show. Patrick Moore said, "Hey, Chris started me on diuretics Sunday, ruined my physique, and pretty much all that." So
The most popular sport right now is the UFC. There's nothing that's grown more like that.
Because people like to see people punch each other in the fucking face. That's
but
why.
you win by but it's better bodybuilding. You win by some guys.
You competed in the sport. You were in the sport.
Yeah, but it's different now. It's not the same.
It was the
sport.
same thing back then when you competed.
No,
it was
it's
still
different.
a beauty pageant.
It's different. I think it's a totally different
It's
sport.
the same rules. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. First of all,
the guys are bigger.
It's like saying NASCAR is different.
No.
Same shit. You get a car, you run around a track, so the car gets newer
Today,
and
let me
better.
tell you
That's
something.
the whole thing.
Today, look at back in Pump and Iron, right? Everybody was under 200. You had 3 or 4 guys over 200. That's it. Now today, you got guys 5 feet 200.
That's called evolution of the sport.
Yeah,
Greg.
Evolution of fucking
In
body,
the-
and eventually that shit's gonna, a 400-pound ripped guy is gonna look like a fucking California raisins with a striation. It's too far gone.
Well, you
I
think
think
you
they
can
let
do
it
that?
That's why they have classic physique.
Look at girls. Look
Right,
at the
exactly.
chicks today. You got these
Dave, that's a great point.
chicks walking around with
Everybody
22-inch
complains
arms
about
and
the
shit.
same complaint that Greg is complaining about.
Right.
We give them classic physique, and they
Yeah.
still complain.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
it's like, here's
Watch
what
it.
you want. Here's
Watch
the
it.
90s.
John doesn't even know classic physique because he doesn't watch the show.
I know. So we're giving him 90s.
But it's
physiques
different.
on
It's
a
not
silver
just-
platter.
Hey,
It's not
Greg.
just
Guys who
Greg.
feel-
It's not just
Greg,
Greg. It's all of them.
Greg.
All of them.
physique, the classic
Greg,
physiques
listen.
are
Yes.
better than the guys back then. They look
Yeah,
great.
you're
Say
right.
something.
You're
Of
right.
course, there's more.
Logan Franklin, Mike, they look better than the guys back
They
then.
do.
I don't know what
course.
you're talking about.
Fucking drugs today and a
Hang on, let
different.
me say something.
No, it's
We
not
hung out
just
in the gym.
that. It's
I was
not. It's
lifting
just not
plastic
that.
weights. I was lifting plastic weights. I look better than most of these guys. And shit.
No,
Greg,
Greg, these
listen.
guys look incredible.
Listen,
Go ahead.
bodybuilding in the open division.
You don't like that
started going
physique?
No, that's it. That's nice. That's a nice physique. Absolutely.
hold
That's
on a
second
second.
place at
Hey,
the
before
Arnold. Yeah.
No, I'm not
Before you
saying
go
I
to
don't like
classic.
classic physique, but it's still. Let me tell you something. When you compare
Let
him to
Larry
the other
talk.
guys, what do you
Listen.
think's difference from then? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Larry.
Bodybuilding in the open division started going in the wrong direction after Dorian, when basically the guts got distended and the proportions started getting weird. But if you look at today's guys like Derek Lunsford, the guy's massive, but he's got a little tiny waist and he's got a crazy V shape. And put up a picture of Derek Lunsford and doing a double
Yeah.
bicep with this last one. He looks freaking amazing.
He's got one of the best backs in history.
And
How tall
he's
is Derek Lunsford?
He's your
He's
height.
5'6".
Just put up a picture of him. Put up a picture of him doing.
Why doesn't Lunsford have striations?
He does.
He does now.
He does
did.
now. After Chris
His
started
chest
working with
looks like flat metal.
All right, but
No,
let
he's-
me
He got a
just
little bit better.
let me ask you guys on the panel this question. Okay, he's 5'6", all right, so he's around my height. Now, Lee Labrada, all these great bodybuilders that were shorter bodybuilders, even Lee Priest was like 198. How did these guys? What is how does did the human being evolve since the 2000?
Yes.
let's say?
Yes, it
Yes.
did.
Yeah,
No,
it did.
It's the
Yeah.
fucking Babanya evolved.
It's everything, Greg.
Greg,
No.
it's
more training,
The
the
Babanya is
nutrition.
the same. Testosterone is testosterone. It's been testosterone.
No, but that's not what these guys are.
No, anything that they're
It's growth
taking
hormone,
now,
that's
we
not
had
the
30
origin.
years ago.
Hey,
No,
look
growth
at the
hormone-
shape
guys
on
are
him.
doing testosterone. The guys back in the day took testosterone, so it's not like these guys are just.
Yeah, but look,
The
Greg,
growth
he's
hormone
got
The growth,
all
nowadays,
the
that.
growth hormone, the growth hormone and the insulin, yes, it's gotten a little out of control. But Derek looks amazing. How can you not look at Derek and like that's an amazing?
He's got the
physique.
conditioning, he's got the shape, he's got the structure, he's got the size, he's got all of it.
He's a
He
jack.
works-
He's
He
definitely a
works his
jack
ass
dude.
off.
You know what I mean? I just don't.
They're eating a lot. They're eating a lot more food. The training has evolved. We know what works. They're not in the gym training the same muscle group for 3 hours anymore, which is overtraining. So everything's evolved, and they have a different look.
Listen, it's just my opinion. It's just not the same. I'm old school. I guarantee if you talk to a lot of guys from my era, my old school thinking, you know what I'm saying?
That physique right there is going to beat most of the 90s guys.
Well, I'm not saying it.
John, you know what happens? This is what happens. And it's not just Greg. People, when they stop competing themselves or in their mindset, they lose interest in the competition aspect. Remember when you first started, you were obsessed. You wanted to go to every show.
Yes, 100%.
What everyone looked like, what the competition was, because you're evaluating everyone against yourself in your mind. That it's impossible not to. When you get to a point where you have no interest in competing anymore, you're no longer doing that. A lot of people just lose interest in that aspect of the sport, the competition aspect. They still enjoy the bodybuilding world, but they lose interest in that. And I think Greg has lost interest in that. That's what it is.
Maybe partially that's part of it.
You don't really pay attention. So if you don't pay attention for a couple of years, you don't know who the players are and all. And it's not as fun anymore because you don't know who all the people competing are out there. If you were still involved in watching the sport, you would know who all the players are and you would be more emotionally invested, I think.
This Olympia that's coming up is going to be like one of the best Olympias in history.
Yeah, I think so.
Just because of the competition and everything that's going on.
It's just not the same. It's when I trained for the love of this game. You know what I'm saying? Now today, these guys are, they don't just train. It's everything is so fucking. I mean, I love the Babani, but these guys go way above that.
But Greg,
it's not
no one does what they do if they didn't love what they do because it's torture. You gotta love this shit to do it.
I did it naturally. When I got on stage, I dieted. I didn't take
regardless of whatever.
Not everyone has the ability to compete naturally. Okay,
not everybody wants to.
Yeah.
No, I'm not here promoting natural bodybuilding. Not at all. I love the fucking. I love it.
The funny thing about it is that while Greg was an awesome natural bodybuilder, when he competed, he was only natural. After that, he decided to take his arms to the most extreme measure that I've ever seen in the history of the sport.
Oh, it's PR.
And you went in the opposite direction of everything that you thought was great about bodybuilding.
Right.
How did you in your mind rationalize that?
I didn't. I didn't do it purposely. I just started doing it before you know it.
What do you mean purposely? Was someone else shooting your arms? No, every day?
Yeah, I did shot the shit out of it, but I didn't do it because I'm like, I want to get bigger. I just want to get the babanya in me. You know what I mean?
But Greg,
Greg, how can you give these guys shit today when you were dumping a bottle of Prop in your arms?
But I didn't stand on stage. It just. I didn't think I looked good.
Who cares?
Greg, you had an amazing physique before the fucking babanya in your arms, right? Once they grew like an inch.
Yeah,
two. What made you not see that and say, "Oh, I got to stop here for a minute"?
I didn't see it. I was like,
I get 27-inch arms and they're bigger than my fucking head. I was like a troll.
27.
So,
I was 207. I was 278 pounds.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, but bodybuilding from the beginning, from the onset for you was aesthetics. You thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
Okay, so how did you go from presenting a beautiful physique to a fucking aberration of life? How did you do that? Where in the process?
But I didn't get on stage.
Your arms get to the point where you say, "All right, they're 24 inches now. Maybe I should stop." But
I didn't get
you
on
went
stage.
to 27. All right.
What does getting on stage have to do with it? You still did it.
I just did. Yeah, I did it because I loved the sport. Just like last night, I fucking trained for 2.5 hours.
Greg,
2:30 in the morning.
You got attention. You got a huge write-up in MD. It got you a lot of attention, right?
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
But wait, Dave.
Right there. When your wrist became
You're making fun of the guys on stage, on the Olympia stage?
But wait, Dave, you got to understand something. Dave has a little bit of a point, too, because when I wasn't competing or involved in the sport as much, you lose a little bit. You know what I mean? You don't have that. And I'm not the only one saying this. I know a lot of old school bodybuilders who think that today shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Why didn't you put the shit in your forearms too?
My forearms are big there.
Too painful.
When you got 27-inch and that's 20 inches, it looks fucking, you know what I mean? There's still, I mean, you see me today.
Wait,
You-
forearms are 20 inches?
Greg, I agree. I love the physiques from the 90s. Those are some of my favorite physiques.
Right.
But these guys have amazing physiques today. You can't discredit their hard work.
I'm not taking that away from them. I'm just saying, for the love of I lost the love of I love this bodybuilding. It's my lifestyle. I mean, look at me. I'm still fucking, you know, my age, and after all these operations, 3 cancer surgeries in the throat.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, I still love training. I still love bodybuilding. I'll always love bodybuilding. I will always be a bodybuilder. But I'm just saying, Dave's kind of right. I guess I lost the love for the competitiveness. Like, I don't give a shit who wins the Olympia or anything. Like, if one of my friends, let's say Victor Martinez, was going for the show, then I'd care, because I love Victor. He's my boy. I still think he's got one of the greatest physiques ever, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, people like that, if Kevin Levrone or somebody like that was going to compete, then I give a shit. Then I'd want to see him win.
Well, you just fell out of love with competitive bodybuilding. I
think that's what it is. I mean, listen, don't think if I see that dude Derek Lunsford, I don't go, holy shit. You know what I mean? Of course I do. You know what I mean? I'm not that fucked up. I'm just saying, but I also feel like they let the sport get out of control. Like, look at chicks. There's chicks with 20-inch arms. That's not hot. Not to me anyway.
Greg, the question on everybody's lips is,
yes,
did you ever put that shit in your piece of legats? Did you ever try that?
No. My piece of legat is already.
You thought of it. Come on.
Never.
No, admit it.
I don't need it. It's big and fat.
Admit it. You didn't need it in your arms either.
You know, they're doing P shots now. They inject like all this like filler now into the penis.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yes,
they've been doing that forever.
Dave, I know somebody you know very well, Dave. I'm going to say on the show.
What?
He's not a famous pro bodybuilder, but he's a New York guy that you were around a lot. I know who did it. I'll tell you after the show.
Oh, really?
I'll text you right now. I'll tell you. Don't say his name, no fuck. Huh?
It was big a long time ago in the gay scene. The guys were putting silicone in their dicks, and it would make them like a Coke can.
How about Tattoo Timmy, Dave? Remember he tattooed his schmeckle?
No, I don't know if he did. I think
he did.
I seen Timmy in the fucking urinal. Hold on. I'm texting right now who it is.
Tattooed?
Did you look?
I did a video with him and I was fucking around. I may believe, yeah. I didn't see it. No.
Did you look?
No.
Well, yeah,
I made it believe I did.
The question is not whether or not you saw it. The question is, did you look?
Because he told me he tattooed his schmeckle.
Oh, he did? He might have.
Yes.
I know he had something right above his schmeckle because
Tattoo Timmy put it up because you won't believe what people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dave, I just
tattooing your penis. Tattoo. Oh, really? Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Yes. He talks, he used to tell me all about it. He put it in there because I guess it wasn't fat. He wanted to make it fatter.
Oh. Usually gay guys do that. They put they get the shots in their penis.
Well, Dave, the guy I just texted you is a little bit.
Was he gay?
That,
Was he gay? Kind of.
Let's just say he was halfway over the fence.
Ah, I didn't know that. Okay, good to know.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah,
I'll take stories later. Yeah.
He was married. That's why I was asking. But
but did you see? Remember the wife too? She wasn't. She's kind of like mutley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not. Awesome. She was no looker. She was a nice guy.
You know who? Greg sounds like Joe Pesci right now. Yeah, you don't look.
She's a nice guy, Dave. That way. Come on, you know what I'm talking. He was a good-looking guy, and he was.
Oh, he was. Yeah, no, he was.
Chicks liked him, but
he was a good bodybuilder too.
At one time, yeah, he was. I'm friends with him, but
he could have gone all the way if he wanted to. I mean, he could have gone to the pro level.
Yeah, I'll tell John. You guys, I don't think the other guys know. You guys,
I don't think John knows who he is though either.
John might not know him. Well, he was a New York guy from back in the 80s. Yeah. 80s, very 80s bodybuilder.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap up today's show. I guess the take-home message is, guys, don't do stupid stuff that's very dangerous because I don't want to see unnecessary deaths. We should not be losing a 20-year-old woman in the prime of her life at the Arnold Expo because she wanted to look good for the walking around to take selfies.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Dave,
no
I
good.
think
Worth it.
Yeah, it's a good point, Dave. It's like you guys got to realize that these drugs are not trivial at all. So from something as innocuous that you think testosterone is, all the way to DNP, all of the drugs in between, including those two, have side effects. They have issues. They have contraindications. You got to know all this shit before you take it. Don't start taking something like DNP because you heard about it online.
Right.
That's fucking nuts. All right.
Hold on a second.
Anything that you put into your body, you got to know absolutely everything about it. And once you do, then you can decide what you're doing. But if you're doing it on a whim because you heard that somebody else did it, you're fucking stupid.
And if you hear us saying that this is something you shouldn't do, you probably shouldn't do it. It's because we're not conservative. I keep mentioning that because, there are people out there that don't want anyone to use any drugs. We're not anti-drug. We're anti-death is what we are.
Right, exactly.
Let's put things in perspective.
John, I just text you.
Yeah, I know.
Not just in bodybuilding, but in general, there's this body dysmorphia thing. And, girls have bulimia, anorexia, and this is common. I know females right now that have eating disorders.
Right.
I know a girl that takes diuretics all year long because she thinks she's
Terrible.
fat.
Terrible.
And meanwhile, eats cookies and shit.
Yeah.
So
That's
this is like a mental. This is not just a bodybuilding issue. This is like a mental thing. And I think people see people on social media, especially females, and they want to. Here's what was crazy to me when I went to the Arnold Expo. The biggest line I saw there were for the Tren twins. Who the fuck cares about the Tren twins? There was like 5,000 teenagers standing in line. I'm like, what's this line for? It's like the Tren twins. These two,
they're like the modern day Barbarian Brothers, John. That's
Actually,
I know, but they're like
they are
20 years
probably
old.
they're probably the worst thing that's going on right now in our industry is making a joke out of a parody out of one of the most potent drugs that's out there.
Yeah, that's not good.
You got people that like you got people that
There's
like
10 million kids in line for it.
How old is that kid?
You got people like Hani now though that used to be like so hardcore, and Hani's like all with them now and likes all their posts, and Jay Cutler likes
he
their
just
posts.
wants to just get the publicity from them. That's
right. I know.
I think that they're looking.
So,
those kids have a big following, so they're trying to hope that maybe, like, you know what I'm saying.
There are people in our industry that are marketing guys, and they will market off of anyone, even if it's negative marketing, and that's not cool either. Because if you see people like who are well respected endorsing these people, that are doing negative shit, it kind of almost condones it, and that's not good. Yeah.
How old are they?
I actually happen to like these Tren twin guys. I think they're good. They're hardcore. They train hardcore. They totally remind me of the Barbarian Brothers back in the day. The Tren twin thing, I guess it's too late to change it.
Dumb.
It definitely has a bad connotation. I agree.
No, there's no way to like the Barbarian Bros were their own entity back then, and still even today. I mean, they would smack each other in the face.
Well, these guys are similar. They're very similar. They're twins.
They're athletes. I saw those guys. They're athletes. They're wrestlers.
They're real athletes. They're not like phonies, but they're
Barbarian Brothers
is what's silly about the whole.
Are they
The
teenagers?
Barbarian Brothers that they were crazy.
24, like 24.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hang on. The Barbarian Brothers' claim to fame is that they were crazy hardcore trainers that lifted massive weights. They did like 500-pound reverse grip bench presses, 700-pound front squats, and all this shit. These guys here, their claim to fame is they take a bunch of drugs.
Right.
I think it started out like that, and then it just the name stuck, and so they're kind of stuck with that. But they train hard. I respect them what they do. I don't think they push a lot of drugs. They push their they have a weird kind of like
their names are the Tren twins. Obviously, that's drug right there.
But Greg, it started like that, and I think it's grown beyond that.
They can change it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with
No,
it.
they can't change it. They can't. What are they going to change it to now?
The twins. The twins.
Kind of like.
They need a marketing guy to rebrand them. George,
how about
contact them?
Like Kanye. He changed his name all the time.
George Washington is patriotic
bodybuilders formerly known as the Tren twins. They can call themselves.
patriotic twins.
All right, we're going to wrap up, guys.
The Patriot Twins.
Thanks for joining us live as always, and we'll be back again next week for another installment of
Don't
After
forget
Hours.
to go to Captain Protein.
Eat
Love
the
you guys.
cookie. Eat the cookie.
Eat